Cloud, yes, yes. Okay, thanks.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I think this is worthwhile to also explain. So the whole idea of a mastermind is, well, mastermind takes the form of different formats, okay? But let me just give you some example of how this has been used. It's more or less just, you know, a group of people coming together with a common purpose, okay? Share values, and then they discuss something of interest to them on a regular basis, okay? This can be some kind of sharing, some kind of feedback, okay? Mutual learning, peer learning, actually. And a lot of the things actually came from these mastermind groups. For example, the United States of America, okay? It was actually started from a mastermind group of a bunch of colonial, you know, people. They were maybe just gathering at each other's house. Like, you know, I don't know how often they gather, like maybe on a bi-weekly or monthly basis, you know. And they were just simply sharing about what they have, what they are doing, what they're learning, what their challenges are, giving feedback to each other. And then they just started, you know, the American Revolution. So,
fair enough.
and also another example of a mastermind actually is between Thomas Edison and Henry Ford. Okay, both of you know are, you know, two industrialists. Edison, you know, the improver of the light bulb. He actually didn't invent, but he improved the light bulb. And also Henry Ford, who invented the Model T. What happened was Edison was a great inventor, okay, and he started his own business. However, his business did not take off, you know, as seen, you know, become like growing and successful until he started to have regular meetings with Henry Ford, okay, and they would discuss, exchange ideas, you know, provide feedback for each other, and then it just sort of grow, okay. So that tells you about you can think of mastermind as really the, coming together, collecting people's brains, you know, into one, sort of a sharing brain process. And so there are, you know, that's kind of the purpose of mastermind, which is to share ideas, thoughts, providing feedbacks, share challenges, you know, and help each other to resolve issues and, you know, share resources and solutions. There are different formats, okay? And I think for our purpose, what will be helpful might be to, we can basically have a regular time to share about our learnings. Okay. So I think we can set the tone of sharing, you know, sharing the learnings, and also maybe sharing some of the major challenge, okay, that we're facing. Okay. Of course, because this is, again, directed towards research and, you know, in particular for now, maybe Victoria, perhaps in the future for other, other students as well. So I think, I'm just saying that in the future, it could take the format of we will be each sharing the major learnings of the past month, okay? And also maybe share like one major challenge, okay? And, you know, of which, you know, what's like the biggest challenge now that's faced by you, and the other people can provide feedback, okay, and thoughts on that, okay. So this, if conducted on a regular basis, I think it's going to be a useful collective group learning process, okay. And also some of the issues can be, you know, more exposed and also helped, okay, in that may not be addressed in like regular meetings, regular sync talks. Okay, so does that make sense? For I think for Victoria and also Herman.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yes.
Make sense.
Okay, so usually the mastermind would take you know, some structural format. Okay, where for example, like if it's the three of us, then maybe you know, you will be divided, okay, equally into sessions, for example. Okay. But right now, I think it can be more emphasized, you know, about Victoria, okay, and how your challenge. But I think we will be also sharing a bit of our learning as well, okay, which I think will be helpful for you, okay. So and also I think maybe Herman can share some of, you know, Herman's current challenge in I mean, in terms of doing research or in terms of, students, and, which we can also provide maybe helps or thoughts. Okay. So, does it make sense for Herman as well?
Yep.
Okay, okay, all right, okay. So I think the mastermind can, it will have to be separate, okay, separate from the
Yes.
regular syncs. So I think for that, we can do maybe on a Friday, okay, once a month, okay, one of the Fridays, and again at the 8 a.m. What do you think?
Yeah, once a month. What was that last part?
I was saying that we can do once a month, one of the Fridays.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, and that can again the same time. Okay, 8 a.m. Okay, and the right now I think for me, right now I do have regular, the first and third Friday. So what would be available? I think are the second or last Friday.
Okay. So
Okay.
let me
So
just-
yeah. So Herman, what do you think?
I would. So okay. So if we do the last, I'm just thinking if we do the last Friday, it's basically the. Okay. Well.
The summary month,
you-
right?
So it would be the 30th of October this year, this month. But this month is interesting
Right,
because
right,
there's
right.
five Fridays. But maybe we should just go for the last Friday of every month. I think that would be a good idea.
Okay, okay, all right, and then maybe adjust. Okay, if there are special
Yeah.
occasion, we can make it earlier or
Yeah.
later, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, all right, okay. I think that will work. That will work. Okay, all right. So that's set. I mean, basically set up the schedule first. Okay. So again, Tuesday and Thursday, 8 a.m. In South African time for the sync, and then
Yeah.
every last Friday each month, 8 a.m. for the mastermind. Okay,
Yes.
which will take about 1 hour. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay. So will that work?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Great.
Just wanna-
great. All right.
Just want to confirm for the Thursday starts at 8 a.m. right? Not 7:30.
Yes.
Both. I mean, it's all 8 a.m. I mean, it's all the same
Yes.
time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think
Tuesday
it's
and
easier
Thursday.
and simpler to keep it the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it is.
8
Yeah.
a.m.
So you don't have to you just schedule it and you don't really have to think, and it becomes kind of a habit. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And all things, if you want to have momentum to build, you have to sort of build a habit towards that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's,
All right. Okay. Good. All right.
thank you
All
very
right.
much.
So with the time left, Victor, maybe you'd like to update a bit of your progress. Okay. Of this past week. And
Okay, thank you. So basically, I think it's the reading that kills, honestly. It's almost like every time I sort of read into one concept, you sort of find a paper that takes you to another concept. For example, you see the shortest distance, algorithm, and then you see something about Delaunay triangle, triangulation rather. It sort of goes deeper and deeper, and then you see a paper that sort of combines both the learning and shortest distance algorithms. And so it's almost like the more you read, the more you sort of takes you into like I don't know what's the word, like an abyss kind of. But it's all good. I think it helps because it sort of paints a bigger picture. It's helping in terms of painting the bigger picture and sort of what to sort of have at the back of your mind where going forward. So at least now I know some of these things can be applied to the future solution now. Like if I do decide to build a project and if I struggle with something in the future, I know I can always remember that, oh, I think I saw something like this somewhere that I think I can sort of apply. But at the moment, I think it's the region that sort of Charles. But so I don't know if you saw the document. So in the document, it's not necessarily like an in-depth literature review per se. I think it sort of helped me to subcategorize the concepts. So the idea is, as I sort of see the concepts, I sort of write a little bit about them. I do a bit of summary, if you may, a summary about what it's about and what's wrong with it and what's right with it. So once it's sort of like a canvas where it's like a painting, and I'm just gonna keep adding more information as I find the paper. So if I see a relevant paper, for example, or for shortest distance method or shortest distance algorithm, I put it at the shortest distance subsection. And if I see something about the Lonely Triangle that seems interesting, I'm just gonna add it to that. But overall, it is interesting to see how there are some factors I never actually really considered. For example, with like traffic systems, you never really considered the traffic lights and you know hold ups and traffic on the road to get to your destination. So some of these papers actually go in depth as to factors to consider when you are developing like a special network, and how to find the shortest path to where you're going. And they actually have they have like a few interesting ideas as to how they would apply it. For example, in a Google Map scenario, how they would make the system faster. So for stuff like that, that sort of helps me as well in terms of ideas and all that. When I run into problems in the future, I always know that I can go back and you know look at how it works. But in the meantime, I think I'm getting a clearer picture. I really think I thought I got a clearer picture 2 months ago or so, but now it's even clearer than I thought it was. But
Okay, nice.
the more I go in, the more it looks larger. I think it's a lot larger than my mind could comprehend in the past. But it is enjoyable at least. I think that's a positive.
Okay, that's very good. That's very good. I mean, at least you enjoy the process. So
Yeah, like
that's very positive. Okay. All right. So what's the challenge and the next step now for you?
I think for me, the challenge is basically connecting the literature to sort of connect for them to sort of flow. And I think that would only happen once I have basically all the information, like in maybe one page, for example, 2 pages,
Okay.
and then I can regroup them and say, okay, this connects to this one, or the shortest route connects to Deloni's triangle, and Deloni's triangle, and I can maybe go a bit into detail
I
as to
see.
diagrams.
Okay. All
But
right.
in the meantime, I'm just putting all the information, as much information as I can. I think I've read enough papers now, I think, but you never know. It's almost like you find the information.
All right.
So I'm just going to be updating the document. And once it looks solid, then I can rearrange it and then see how.
So your basically the task now at hand is to organize them into maybe a more coherent framework, right?
Yes.
Knowledge framework that both you can understand and you can also let some other people, like the readers of your work, can understand better, right? Of the space. Okay. All right. Good. All right. So actually, I do have one feedback on that, on how to do that quickly, okay, or effectively, okay, which is try to teach someone or explain to someone who doesn't have any idea of what you're doing, of what you have surveyed.
Like my grandma, right?
Yeah. Well, if you, I don't necessarily recommend that, that part of it. Although there's what's called a mom test, in doing startup, which is if you can let your startup idea and explain to your mom and she understands, then you pass the test. It's called a mom test, yeah. But I don't think we need to put you on that challenging part yet, okay? What you can do, I think, is to explain to fellow students, the undergraduate students or undergraduate students. Do you have access to that? That is my kind of question. Are there students where you can sort of interact and explain to them, like what you're doing, what's the problem space, what are literature, what are existing solutions, and what's basically what the problem and solutions space look like?
Yeah.
I mean, is that something you can do?
Yeah, I do already have like a group. I connect with like I think 3 students, actually 4, although there are different sessions. But I connect with 3, undergraduate students every Sunday. We'll basically talk about like our tasks for the week and what we plan to do and what we have done. I can always bring that up as well. There, just try to
Okay,
explain to them.
okay. So if this can be something, kind of like an exercise or some a few sessions, okay, well, the best is if you can do this on a regular basis. Okay, I don't know if there's something you can set up like that. But if you try to explain to them, maybe using some simple slides in the background to explain and see if they understand. Okay.
Okay.
And if you can do that to someone literally without much background, then I think you already have a pretty good idea of everything. You see? Okay. I mean, usually that's a sign of whether you understand the everything well yourself. You know, like Einstein can explain relatively to like elementary students. I don't know if you've heard of that story. That's actually a sign of mastery. If you
Yeah.
if you can explain something, to like in very very simple terms, that means you really understand the concepts well, and you will discover yourself, stumble across idea blocks or thought difficulties if you don't even understand certain aspects. Okay, so that is something I think if you adopt, that will be very effective.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
That's,
So
that's,
all right.
that's fine.
All right. So
Thank you very
I think
much.
with the time left, I think Herman has some concern about the current, I guess the progress and the current, I mean, how current progress are being made or the things and updates. Maybe
Yeah,
Herman, you can talk about that. Yeah.
so Victor, I think so it's clear to me that you've read a bunch of the articles. I do think that what you've sent through still will require some work before it's a proposal that would be accepted by the faculty.
Definitely.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write an outline of what I think should be in your research proposal.
Okay.
Kind of background section, what you should be covering background session, some stuff about spatial routing, some stuff, that type of things. And then I'll post that on Vastverse or something so that Shunyun can perhaps also give some input. And then I think that would be a good, blueprint for you to take what you have written thus far and fit it into that blueprint, because I think that will also help you in preparing a document, which I think our faculty would then find acceptable, and then you can register for a PhD.
Okay. Yes, that would help significantly. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. So I guess I'd like to add that I think what Herman's saying is, the people who read your writing, your work, they are looking for certain things.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, they have specific things they're looking for. Okay. And maybe I think what Herman is saying is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I get the sense that Herman doesn't feel that those aspects are being properly presented or described yet.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, with the outline, I think you maybe have a better idea. But I think also it will be helpful, to let Victor know specifically, like what are some of the things. Yeah, that's kind of missing, right?
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to also send along the form that the panel has to complete when they consider a PhD proposal, because then you can also see exactly what the things are that they are looking for in a research proposal. And there's basically a tick list of things that they want to see in a research proposal. And if you're aware of those things, then I think that'll also help in making certain that your proposal has those things, if it makes sense.
All right.
Cool. Awesome. So we'll be meeting on Thursday again at 8 o'clock.
Yes, yes. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
So we
Great.
will do this Thursday, 8 a.m. Okay, your time.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. So I
Cool.
think, yeah. So Victory, if you can, get to talk to some students. All right. Explain your
Yes.
and
Yes.
see how it works. Okay. See if that helps with your organizing your thoughts and the framework.
All right.
Okay. All right, and also, look at Herman's outline and basically try. I mean, the second thing to improve your proposal according to that.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
So yeah,
Thank you,
talk to you
Shinny.
then. Okay. Yeah. So thanks, Herman, as well. All right. Thanks, Victor. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.